Hello, Red Sox fans, and welcome to another Talk Sox video. As many of you know, as the Orioles dwindle more and more to never making it to the playoffs, the Red Sox look pretty good to make it to the playoffs. So we're here to talk about it, considering the beginning of the year they weren't looking too hot. And Brandon, I want to get your thoughts on this pretty good news.
Yeah, so as Ethan said, before the season, if you took a look at the Fangraphs playoff odds, the Red Sox had, the second best odds in the division, at around, 55% to make the playoffs, which is pretty good. I mean, over 50%, before games even start. I'd say that that's, pretty strong, only behind the Yankees, in the division. They only had about a 25% chance to win the division according to those odds, but, again, still very strong odds to make the playoffs. Now, fast forward to today, around the middle of August at the time of this recording, and those odds have actually gone up to around 70%, which is actually third best in the division now, thanks to how good the Blue Jays have been recently. But again, that's a big bump in the odds, even if those divisional odds are down to 8%, again, mostly due to how good the Blue Jays have been recently. But again, overall, I think, especially given how much of a roller coaster this season has been, where things started off, pretty mediocre, and then, things started to get hot, and then Rafael Devers got traded and things went cold, and then things got hot again, and then the trade deadline came in, went without any big additions. I'd say, considering all of the sort of twists and turns that this season has taken, given that the Red Sox are 10 games over 500 and that they're in really strong position to claim one of the wild card spots, I'd have to say that this has been a successful season. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. Again, I think we were speaking, I don't want to say negatively, but like we said, it was pretty doom and gloom in the beginning of the season for the Red Sox, and I think things have really picked up for a number of reasons. I don't think the trade deadline was one of those things per se, but I think the Red Sox have been really great out in the field. We've been producing hit after hit after hit. I think now that Roman Anthony has gotten the call up, things are only going to get better. We finally moved him off the DH slot. Um, I think also focusing on our outfielders too. Wilyer Abreu has done great. Alex Bregman, even though he's been in and out of things, has been a wonderful addition to our team. Garrett Crochet, there's no surprise there.
Mhm.
Again, it's green flags all around here in Boston, if you ask me.
Yeah, again, it's these playoff odds are very fluid. One game either way can obviously change these things pretty drastically. Who knows what happens with injuries or other teams calling up their prospects or what have you. Other teams that actually did things at the trade deadline. Reaping the benefits of that. But again, given where things stand here in the middle of August, you have to again, given that the Red Sox just a few months ago, especially when they traded Devers, things really seemed like again they were on a winning streak at that time. I think they had just swept the Yankees, and then things sort of took a turn for the worse for the next couple of weeks. It really felt like the season was sort of hitting its end early on, and now here we are, just a couple months later, and it looks like the Red Sox are bound for the playoffs again. Obviously, they have, I believe, like the fifth or sixth best odds in the AL to make the playoffs. Again, they probably won't win the AL East. It's not impossible. It's not like the Blue Jays have pulled away so far. They're only, I think, around 5 games ahead of the Red Sox at this point. But again, it's really positive that even a really young team like the Red Sox that is relying so heavily on prospects and these young guys that have gotten extensions, which we talked about last week after Roman Anthony, as you mentioned, got his extension. It's just, again, it's a strong sign that this is already a winning team, that this is already a winning formula, and that obviously, even if the Red Sox don't get to the promised land this year, they're set up to threaten for it in the coming seasons.
And I think that was kind of Craig Breslow's plan all along, and that's why they didn't trade. Is look, they've kind of put so much of their time, effort, and money into these young guys. It's they want to reap the benefits of what they've kind of planted the seed in. If and again, like you said, if not this year, most likely next year, the year after that. There's a reason they didn't trade. Hopefully, they make it to the wild card slot, if not further. But we'd love to hear your comments, thoughts in the comments section below. Do you think that we are World Series bound? We'd like to believe so here at Talk Sox, but what are your thoughts in the comments section below? We'll be responding to each and every one of you.